walk you down on how to basically invite a user on Join AI and how should a user sign up once they get an invitation. So in the once a user is a super admin, he will be able to have access to the Access tab on Join AI on the left panel, and in that they have to click the Users tab and go, and they would essentially see two tabs here. One is the accepted users and the pending users. I have freshly signed up this tenant, so you would see the primary user who is always active, and any of the invited users would be available in this tab. So what I'll go is I'll go ahead and actually invite a new user to this tenant. For the sake of ease of use, what we've been doing is we've been using a workaround which we have with the Gmail, where we separate mail ID. I mean, we actually extend the mail ID by adding a plus and then some way to have multiple users from the same email ID on Join AI. So what I'll do here, so this is guest 1. And then we just need to click invite. Once an invitation is sent to the user, you will see the invited user in the pending users list. You can resend an invite, you can delete a user from an invited user list. So what I'll now walk you through is what happens after the invite is sent. So depending on which user you have sent the invitation to, they would receive an email saying they've been invited to Join AI. They will have access to download the App Store, the iOS App Store app, as well as the Windows app from the two links provided here. But an invited user essentially can follows the same process of sign up into Join AI. So all they need to do is they go and sign up into Join AI, and what they need to ensure is they basically use the same email ID which was used to send the invitation. So what essentially happens here is if the user uses the same email ID to sign up, so let me do one thing, open another browser and sign up into Join AI. The user needs to ensure that the same email ID on which the invitation came has been used to sign up. What this does is it automatically adds this user to an existing tenant from which the invitation came. So if by mistake a user uses a different email ID to sign up, then Join AI essentially creates a separate tenant for this user because the email ID does not match with the invited user email ID in the existing tenant. So the rest of the process remains the same. The user again gets a verification email similar to anyone who is signing up in Join AI for the first time. The user is automatically redirected to QA app, but because I'm already signed up in the primary user for the tenant, it automatically logs me in. So I'll go to the other browser, I'll go to the login page and essentially sign in with the user. So what we notice here is an invited user. Now if you see, is actually part of a tenant which has been created by an existing user, right? If I go here, try to choose a member, there's already another user. Okay, so let me just switch to the other window, which is the main users window, and if I go back to users here, now you would see that the pending user who's been invited into the tenant is now since they've already accepted, they move to the accepted tab. Here, if you have noticed, the primary user is a super admin, so he has access to all the tabs. They can go about inviting new users, creating new teams and groups, but the invited user by default doesn't have access to those admin capabilities. So one thing which I could do is I can actually go and provide those capabilities for the user in this tab. So this is the process of actually sending an invitation, signing up with a new guest user for a new tenant. Thank you.